front page of this week's Business Courier. A big picture of P&G's Bob McDonald and an exclusive in-depth interview you do not want to miss. Humble leadership from the man at the top. We probably report on Procter & Gamble more often than any other business in the city. And why shouldn't we? Cincinnati's P&G has 120,000 workers in 180 countries. It's the nation's 10th largest firm in market cap at $207 billion with a B dollars. Last year, it received a 1 million job applications. Bob McDonald has been CEO of Cincinnati's flagship firm since 2009. He's pushed through a major restructuring, has absorbed tough attacks from Wall Street, and is in charge at a time when P&G shares are at an all-time high. So, what do we know about this man, and who is at the helm of Cincinnati's quintessential corporate giant? Just the 12th CEO in P&G history. He's 60 years old, a West Point grad, former Army Ranger, and his passions include leadership and the city of Cincinnati. Business Courier editor Rob Dahlmeyer sat down with Bob McDonald at P&G's corporate headquarters. Rob joins us with some insight on the leadership style of Mr. McDonald. Rob, good to have you.
Good to have you here, too, because I'm going to be doing my own interviews later.
That's right. You're starring on the show today. How does a man like this rise to the top at P&G?
He told me that he first applied to West Point when he was 11.
Wow.
11. Yeah. If that gives you any idea, he's
a born leader.
Yeah, he's organized, he knows what he wants, and he's willing to put the work in. I asked him if he was a workaholic at one point. He said, well, you're going to have to ask other people that, but I would never ask anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. So I think he's had a plan for himself really from day one. He got into West Point, became in the airborne for the Army Rangers, and worked his way up through P&G like you have to. Everybody at P&G that has become CEO, they have to go through brands, specific brand management, and then they go off typically to another country. So he's been to the Philippines and Japan and came back when A.G. Lafley retired.
But the word humble is in that headline, and I really like that because you think of somebody who's humble as somebody more quiet and sort of in the background, but it takes humility to achieve the kind of success that he's seen.
Yeah, it's really disarming. I've met him a couple times. He's very disarming. He does not come off like a CEO of one of the world's largest companies very easily could. He's very disarming. He's engaged. He will talk about anything. He told me a story. He's willing to and happy to meet with any of Procter & Gamble's employees at any time. He was at dinner over the Rhine the other night, and one of his employees who he didn't know came up to his table and asked him to pose for some pictures because it was somebody's birthday. He happily did that, went back to his dinner. He said that happens all the time, and he actually really likes that. He teaches leadership. He interviews all management trainees at P&G specifically. I mean, they bring in, 120,000 people, so you can imagine it's a pretty big job.
Fascinating man, fascinating interview. We encourage you to read it in this week's print edition of the Courier, and you'll be back doing an interview yourself shortly.
Yeah.
All right, Rob, thank you.